Hi everybody, this is our first grader's review of the streetcar named Desire. Now that Blanche and Stella, they met each other, so they are very happy to see each other. So they hug and they embrace very hard, the spasmodic embrace, hug each other and call out their name, and they're very happy to see each other. So Blanche says, now, then let me look at you. Oh, look at you, Stella. But don't look at me, Stella. Oh, I'm going to look at you, Blanche is saying, but don't look at me, Stella. No, 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 not till later. Not till I've bathed and rested. So Blanche is not very proud of herself now at the moment. So she feels quite shy about herself. So Blanche wants Stella, don't look at her until later. Later, so Blanche can bathe herself. She traveled a long distance on the dirt, so she feels quite dirty and she feels tired. So after she take a wash and take a break, maybe she'll look better, and then Stella might want to see later on. And turn that overlight off. So it seems that Blanche she doesn't like a bright place. So she continuously tell Stella to turn off the light, okay, and turn that off. And she doesn't want to get looked under the bright light by Stella. So she says, I won't be looked at in this merciless glare. Glare is a light, right? Merciless is cruel. No, I don't want to be looked under this cruel light. So, in other words, Blanche doesn't like bright place. She prefer somewhere dark place, just like a moth, right? And Stella laughs and complies. So Stella laughs and complies. Listen to Blanche's order. So she turns it off. She turns off the light, Stella. And Stella seems to be quite a good sister. Listen to the Blanche all the time. And Blanche says, come back here now. Oh, my baby, Stella, Stella for star. And she embraces her again. Blanche embraces Stella again. I thought you'd never come back to this horrible place. So Blanche says to Stella, Stella, I thought you'd never come back to this horrible, terrible place. Oh, what am I saying? And Blanche now realized that, this is Elysian Field, is Stella's house, and you cannot really say so much bad things about your sister's house. So she realized that the Blanche made a mistake. So she says, oh, what am I saying? She is like apologizing. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to say your house is so horrible place. I mean to be nice about it and say, "Oh, what a convenient location and such." Haha. And Blanche try to like overcome what she said. So she's, "Oh, what I mean is, I just want to say that your house, Elysian Field, is such a convenient location, right in front of a streetcar trail and between the river. Aha, and precious lamb. No, it doesn't have that much meaning. Just like saying, "Oh my God." Okay, so it's a kind of exclamation. When you are surprised and when you're shocked, when you are happy, you make an exclamation like, "Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Oh heavens! Like precious Lamb!" So this is a kind of an exclamation expression. And you haven't said a word to me, Stella. You didn't say much. And Stella says, "You haven't given me a chance to, honey." And Stella says, "No, Blanche, you didn't give me a chance to say anything, honey, sister." And Stella laughs, but her glance at Blanche is a little anxious. Stella feels quite anxious about Blanche because Blanche behaved rather unstable, uncertain about her behavior. So Blanche says, well, now you talk. It's your talk, Stella. You talk about yourself, please. Open your pretty mouth and talk while I look around for some liquor. So Stella, my sister, tell me about yourself while I'm looking for liquor. You know, she knows. Blanche already know where is a whiskey is, where is a liquor is, right? She pretends that she doesn't know where the liquor is. She already found whiskey from the closet and drink. But she says, while I look around for some liquor, you tell about yourself, Sister Stella. And I know you must have some liquor on a place. Where could it be, I wonder? So she's saying, I know you must have some liquor on the kitchen in the closet. So where could it be, I wonder? I wonder where it is. So, oh, I spy. Spy is, I'm looking for it. But I look for, I look for liquor. And she rushed to the closet and removes the bottle. Right. So Blanche goes to the closet and opens the whiskey bottle, and she is shaking all over and panting for breath. So no, she is shaking. She is Blanche is shaking her hand. She's nervous, and she already drink one glass of whiskey, so she is a little drunk. So she's shaky and uncertain and panting for breath. She is out of breath now, feels nervous and drunk, so she's out of breath. And as she tried to laugh, she's trying to breathe hard, and the bottle nearly slipped from her grasp. So Blanche almost dropped the whiskey bottle on the ground. And Stella notices that there is something about Blanche. Blanche moves so nervously, so unstably. So Stella says, Blanche, you sit down and let me pour the drinks. So she says, Blanche, come here, sit down and let me pour the drinks. And Stella is worried about Blanche's sister. I don't know what you got to mix with. So, Stella doesn't want to give straight whiskey to a Blanche because Blanche looks quite unstable now. So Stella wants to mix whiskey with something. So she's saying, I don't know what you usually Blanche, you mix your whiskey with. Maybe a Coke in the icebox. I have a Coke in the icebox. Look and see, honey, while I'm. So Stella says to Blanche, honey, Blanche, look at the icebox, whether there is a Coke or not, while I'm trying to pour the whiskey to a glass. And Blanche says, no Coke, honey, no, no, not with my nerve tonight. No, not with my nerve, not with my condition. No Coke tonight. I don't want to have a Coke with whiskey. Where is your husband? Where is your Stanley? And Stella said, oh, Stanley? Bowling. He loves it. Stanley loves bowling. They're having a found tournament. They're having a tournament, bowling tournament tonight. Oh, I found some soda. And Blanche says, just water, baby, to chase it, to find it, to find a Coke or to find a soda. No Coke, just water. Just mix my whiskey with water, please. No, now don't get worried. Don't worry about me, Stella. Your sister hasn't turned into a drunkard. I'm not drunkard. I'm not a drunkard yet. Don't worry about me. She's just all shaken up and hot and tired and dirty. The reason why I'm shaking, I almost like dropped my bottle. Shaken up means like unstable. The reason why I behave unstable is, it is hot, this place. You guys remember this is of May, right? May in New Orleans. So it's hot and I am tired and I feel quite dirty traveling long distance. That's why I'm kind of shaky and unstable, not drunkard. Don't worry. You sit down now and explain this place to me. What are you doing in a place like this? So Stella, tell me about your place. What are you doing here in this such a terrible place? And Stella says, now Blanche. And Blanche says, oh, I'm not going to be hypocritical. I'm going to be honestly critical about it. So hypocritical means too intense. So don't worry about Stella. I'm not going to be too intense, too harsh about your house. Okay, I'm just going to be honestly critical. I'm just honestly objective about your house. So never in my worst dream could I picture. Only Poe, only Mr. Edgar Allan Poe could do it justice. The thing is, situation is, I've never imagined, I've never in my worst dreams, I imagined my sister. I never imagined my sister in such a horrible place like this in Elysian Field. Maybe only Mr. Edgar Allan Poe. You guys remember I told you that Edgar Allan Poe is famous American writer, right? And he used to write a horror story and detective story, many scary stories. So he described a lot of horrible, terrible houses. So maybe Mr. Edgar Allan Poe could do it justice. Could do it justice means explain or justify. Maybe Edgar Allan Poe maybe justify why my sister Stella is in such a terrible place like this. And she laughs. And Stella says, "No, honey, those are the LNL tracks. I mean, oh, I'm sorry. Out there, I suppose, is a goal-hunted woodland of air. So goal means ghost, right? And cursed. So your house, Elysian Field, just like a looks like a ghost cursed woodland area house made of wood. And where is the name of place? So I guess while Blanche is talking, there is a sound going on. So she heard the sound, Blanche, and she says, "Oh, your house is like a ghost cursed woodland of where?" And Stella says, "No, honey, those are LNL tracks. This sound that you are hearing now, this is not a ghost sound. This is only a sound of track, sound of streetcar outside." And Blanche says, "No, now seriously, bring joke aside. Okay, let's stop. Putting aside means set aside. Okay, so means let's stop joking. Okay, let's stop joking. Let's get down seriously. Let's talk about some serious stuff. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you write me, honey? Why didn't you let me know? So, Stella, if you are living in such a poor, terrible place, why didn't you tell me before? Why didn't you write me? Why didn't you let me know and say you need help? I could have helped you out if I knew that you are living in such a horrible place in these terrible conditions like this. And Stella carefully pouring herself a drink. So now Stella also pours herself a drink now and says, "Tell you what, Blanche? What am I supposed to tell you, Blanche?" And Blanche says, "Why? That you had to leave these in conditions. You could tell me you had to live in these terrible, horrible conditions." And Stella says, "Aren't you being a little intense about it? Aren't you being aren't you being a little intense about my house? Don't you think it's too much? It's not that bad, no? It's not that bad at all. My house, Elysian Field. It seems that Stella is quite satisfied with her house. Stella is satisfied with her husband. Stella is satisfied with her life." So she says, "New Orleans isn't like other cities, no. New Orleans is not like other cities in America. It looks quite poor and terrible and dirty, but no, it's not that bad to live in here. It's good. It's manageable to live in New Orleans City." And Blanche says, "This has got nothing to do with New Orleans. See, Stella, you living in such a horrible place like Elysian Field, this does not, it has nothing to do with New Orleans. You might as well say, forgive me, blessed baby." Now, Blanche wants to continue. She wants to continue complaining about Stella's poor house, but now she realized that she went too far. She has done it too much. So now she feels quite sorry for Stella and try to apologize to Stella. So says, "Oh, forgive me, my baby, blessed baby. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say so much horrible things about your house." Then she suddenly stopped short. Then, Blanche stopped short and subject is closed. So she says, "Our topic is closed. Okay, let's not talk about our house anymore." And Stella, a little dryly, thanks. Stella is a really cool person. Okay. So she just says dryly, okay, thanks, Blanche. And during the pause, Blanche stares at her. Blanche looks at Stella, and Stella looks at Blanche, smiles at Blanche. And Blanche says, looking down at her glass, which shakes in her hand. So Blanche is holding a glass, and it's quite shaking, and says, Stella, you're all I have got in the world, and you are the only one I have in the world, and you are not glad to see me. It seems that, Stella, you're not happy to see me, right? And Stella sincerely says, why, Blanche? You know that's not true. No, 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 Blanche. It's not true. I am glad to see you. I'm happy to see you, Blanche. And Blanche says, no? Oh, really? Really? You happy to see me? You glad to see me? Oh, I'd forgotten how quiet you are. Oh, right, right. I forgot how quiet. You don't talk much, Stella, even though you're happy. And Stella says, you never give me a chance to say much, Blanche. So when we usually are together, Blanche, you don't give me a chance to say much, Blanche. So I just got in a habit of being quiet around you. So, I just picked up the habit, being it's best to be quiet around you, let you talk, and I just listen. And Blanche says, oh, a good habit to get into. Oh, it's such a good habit. Then abruptly, then suddenly, Blanche, then suddenly says, oh, you haven't asked me how I plan to get away from the school before spring term ended. Oh, right, Stella, you didn't ask me how I get up here while the school before the spring term is ended. This is a May session, right? May. So spring term, spring semester in America, it's not finished yet. And Blanche, being an English teacher, she should be at school working. But now she's in New Orleans, and Stella doesn't ask any question why Blanche is here in the middle of the semester. And Blanche said, well, I thought you'd volunteer the information if you wanted to tell me. So I thought, no, if you really want to tell me why you are here, I thought you maybe volunteer. You tell me that information. And Blanche, oh, you thought I'd been fired? Maybe, Stella, you thought I'd been fired from my job? Stella says, no, no, I thought you might have resigned. Right? Resigned, stepped down. Maybe I thought you stepped down voluntarily from your job. Blanche says, I was so exhausted by all I'd been through, my nerve broke. So, I was so exhausted, so tired with all the things that I have been through, and my nerves broke down. So I got a mental illness. I have a nervous breakdown, and she nervously tamping cigarette. So Blanche is nervously touching the cigarette now. And I was on the verge of lunacy almost. So I was on the verge of be about to, right? And lunacy is like crazy, madness, right? So I almost went crazy, almost went madness and insane. I went on insane. So Mr. Grave is a high school superintendent. So Mr. Grave is a principal of my school, and he suggested to take a leave of absence, suggested me to take a vacation. I couldn't put all those details into a wire. These all lie, right? So she is fired because she has an inappropriate relationship with a student, but she's just making excuse that she was tired and her principal suggested to take a leave, which is a lie. And I couldn't put all those details into a wire. So wire is like electric post, right? Back in the old days, 1910, 1920, You go to post office, you can send your information quickly through electric post, which is quite quicker. But due to a limit of technology, you can only send a little bit of information through a wire. So that's what she is saying. I couldn't put all the details about myself when I sent you the wire before I come here and try to explain. I couldn't explain my situation fully through wire. And she drinks quickly. Blanche drinks quickly. Oh, this buzz right through me and feels so good. So buzz is like a feeling of being drunk. So buzz is not just a drunk little bit, not a whole lot of serious drunk, right? So she said, "Oh, this buzz through me, and does this buzz feel so good?" And Stella says, "Won't you have another? Do you want more? Do you want more whiskey?" And Blanc says, "No, one one is my limit." And Stella says, "Are you sure?" Blanc says, "You haven't said a word about my appearance." She changes topic. So you don't say a word about my appearance, Stella? And Stella says, "You look just fine, Blanche." And Blanche says, "God love you for liar." "Oh, you lie, Stella. You liar, Stella. Daylight never exposed so total ruin. You can say that I look pretty, I look fine because you're looking at me under the dark light. If you look at me under the daylight, it will ruin my appearance. I would look terrible if you look at me under the daylight. But you put some weight. Yes, you just as plump as a little partridge. So oh, it seems that Stella, you gained weight. You look quite fat as a little partridge. Partridge is a bird, right? You look little plump as little partridge. You look as fat as partridge. Oh, it's so becoming to you. Oh, you're getting weight. Stella says, "No, Blanche." And Blanche says, "Yes, it is. It is." Or I wouldn't say it. "Yes, you're getting fat. If it is not true, I would not say that you are fat. You just have to watch around the hip a little. So you're all right now. It's okay now, getting a little weight. Just watch out your hips a little bit. Okay, don't get any more fatter. Okay, stand up now, Stella." And Stella says, "Not now." Stella doesn't want to stand up. But Blanche says, "You hear me? I said stand up." No, Blanche is like 5 years older, and she always uh, pretend as an adult. She pretend as a mother, no, and she treats Stella as a baby or little sister, right? So she gives an order. "You hear me? I said stand up." And Stella complies reluctantly. So, even though Stella doesn't want to stand up, she just listen to Blanche and stand up. "You messy child. You split something on the pretty white lace color." So Blanche says, "You split something on your lace color." So here we have a Stella, and Stella has a dress, and the dress there is a color, white color, and she's saying, "Oh, you spilled something. I guess you spilled your tea or coffee or your food here. Oh, you messy child." And Blanche treat Stella like a real child. "About your hair, you got to have it cut in a feather bob with your dainty feature." Dainty means elegant. "Stella, you have a really elegant feature. You have a really elegant style. So, I suggest you to have a little like feather bob, no? So it's better to your elegant style. You do a bob style. So the bob look better with your elegant feature. You have to cut it now. I guess she has a long hair instead now, but Blanche suggests her to cut it. "Stella, you have a maid, don't you? So you have a servant, you have a maid." Originally Stella and Blanche, they used to live in a huge house in Mississippi in southern area. So Blanche expect Stella to have a maid now here. And Stella said, "No, no, with only 2 rooms. No, my house, Alicia and Field, only has 2 rooms. It's impossible to have servant. Blanche said, what? 2 rooms? Did you say you only have 2 rooms in your house? No, as a matter of fact, Blanche lost that huge house, Belle Rive. She doesn't have any house to stay in. But still, she's so snobbish. She expects that her sister has really huge house and maid inside, and says, "Oh, you only have 2 rooms," and says, "This one and main bedroom." And Stella is quite embarrassed to say it. But Blanche says, "The other one, the other bedroom," and she laughs sharply, and there is an embarrassed silence. So this wraps up with our exam unit. Okay. So thank you for watching again one more time, everybody, and I hope you have a great score with your exam. Okay. Good luck with your score, with your exam. Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you. See you again.